Yes, good morning, students. Yesterday, we have completed the mechanism of respiration. Three steps we have completed. One is the exchange of gases between the alveoli of lungs and blood capillaries which surrounds the alveoli. Mechanism of breathing and transport of gases we have completed in the last class. Now, let us come to the respiratory volumes. 100%. Any one question you can expect from the respiratory volumes. You have to concentrate. They can ask individually, or you can expect in the match the followings also in the NEET examination. 100% anyone will appear. Okay. First, let us come to the what are respiratory volumes? Which are the respiratory volumes that we are going to discuss? The volume of air taken in and given out. Volume of the air is taken into the lungs and given out from lungs to the exterior. Can be expressed and measured in terms of respiratory volumes. Can be expressed and measured in terms of respiratory volumes. Got it? Know what I'm telling you? The volume of air is taken in and given out from the lungs to the exterior. Can be expressed and measured in terms of respiratory volumes by using a device called spirometer or respirometer. Spirometer or respirometer, or you can say spirometry or spirometry. That is should keep in our mind. I think you are getting now. Following now. I'll repeat once again. The volume of the air is taken in, given out. Taken in and given out. Can be measured and expressed in terms of respiratory volumes by spirometer, respirometer, or spirometry. Dear students, one point you should remember here. One inspiration and one expiration. One inspiration, one expiration is called respiratory cycle. Is called respiratory cycle. You remember this. One inspiration, one expiration is called respiratory cycle. In a healthy adult man, approximately the respiratory cycles will be 16 to 18 respiratory cycles per minute. This is the respiratory cycles as in case of healthy adult human being. That you should keep in our mind. One inspiration, one expiration together called respiratory cycle or breathing, you can say that. The number of respiratory cycles in healthy adult man ranges between 16 to 18 per minute. Dear students, here you should remember some points actually. This number of respiratory cycles under normal condition. Normal condition. Normal condition is suppose I am explaining. You are sitting inside the classroom. Just you are doing the breathing. That is the normal breathing actually. Under such condition, in a healthy adult man, we can say that there are 16 to 18 respiratory cycles per minute. The respiratory cycles will be more while sleeping. Respiratory cycles will be more while sleeping. And respiratory cycles will be less while having the food. You remember this. Normal condition 16 to 18 per minute. These cycles will be more while sleeping. And these cycles will be less while having the food. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ busy ಇರ್ತೀವಿ. By keeping these 3 points, in the NEET examination you can expect the one general question actually. One general question you can expect in the NEET examination. Got it? What I am telling you? Listen to me. Under these 3 conditions I given, which condition our body needs more energy?
Like that, they can ask in the NEET examination. Normal condition, sleeping, having the food. ಈ ಮೂರು ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಈ ತರ ಜನರಲ್ ಆಗಿ ನೀವು ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಡಿಯರ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ಯು ಶುಡ್ ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್ ಬಿಫೋರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್, once you think why we are going to take oxygen during inspiration. If you know the answer, then you can select the correct answer for this question. ಗಡಿಗೂ ನಿಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವೇ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಹಾಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಯಾಕೆ ನಾವು ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ತಗೋಬೇಕು ಇನ್ಸ್ಪಿರೇಷನ್ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ. ತುಂಬಾ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಏನ್ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಹೇ ಸರ್ವೈವಲ್ಗೋಸ್ಕರ ನಾವು ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ತಗೋಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ. Dear students, exact scientific reason is what we had the food now. That food has to oxidize. Without oxygen, what we had the food do not undergo oxidation. If the food do not undergo oxidation, we will not get the energy. So finally, you can come to the conclusion. To get the energy, we have to take oxygen. That you should remember here. ಇವಾಗ ನೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, I given normal conditions, there are 16 to 18 respiratory cycles per minute. While sleeping, it will be more than that. While having the food, less than that. So now you decide. 3 conditions I given. Among the 3 conditions, which condition our body needs more energy? Decide ಮಾಡಿ. You remember this. While sleeping, we need more energy because that time only respiratory cycles will be moved. So that you should keep in mind. Okay? I think it is very clear. So I'll repeat once again. Volume of the air is taken and given out, can be measured and expressed in terms of respiratory volumes by spirometer, respirometer, spirometry. One inspiration, one expiration is called respiratory cycle. In a healthy adult man, approximately 16 to 18 per minute. As I said, respiratory cycles will be more while sleeping and less while having the food. Clear? Okay, now let us come to that. We'll discuss the sum of the respiratory volumes one by one. First one is the tidal volume. First one is the tidal volume. Tidal volume. First one is the tidal volume. The volume of the air is taken in and given out under normal condition is called tidal volume. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇವಾಗ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಲ್ವ, ನೀವು ಕೂತಿದ್ರೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ರೆಸ್ಪಿರೇಟರಿ ಸೈಕಲ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಇನ್ವಾಲಂಟರಿ. ನಾವೆಷ್ಟು ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಏರ್ ತಗೊಳ್ತೀವೋ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಏರನ್ನು ಬಿಡ್ತೀವೋ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಟೈಡಲ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್. Volume of the air is taken in, given out under normal condition is called tidal volume. In a healthy adult man, it is about 500 ml. In a healthy adult man, it is about 500 ml. This is the one respiratory volume. Next, inspiratory reserve volume. Inspiratory reserve volume. Inspiratory reserve volume. Inspiratory reserve volume, IRV. Inspiratory reserve volume. Okay, look at the board. The volume of air is taken into the lungs forcefully over and above the tidal volume. Amount of air is taken into the lungs forcefully over and above the tidal volume is called inspiratory reserve volume. In a healthy adult man, it is about 3000 ml. In a healthy adult man, it is about 3000 ml. Amount of air is taken into the lungs forcefully over and above the tidal volume. Over and above the tidal volume is called inspiratory reserve volume. In a healthy adult man, it is about 3000 ml. Next one. Third one is the expiratory reserve volume. 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 Look at the board. The amount of air is expelled out forcefully. Volume of the air is expelled out forcefully over and above the tidal volume. He is called expiratory reserve volume. Amount of air is expelled out forcefully over and above the tidal volume. He is called expiratory reserve volume. In a healthy adult man, it is about 1200 ml. In a healthy adult man, it is about 1200 ml. You remember this. I think you're getting it. Even the volume also you should keep in our mind. Definition also you should keep in our mind. Got it? So that you should remember here. Okay. Next, fourth one is the residual volume. Fourth one is the residual volume. Residual volume. Residual volume. RV. Residual volume. Okay, look at the board. The amount of air that remains in the lungs even after expiration, forceful expiration. Amount of air that remains in the lungs even after forceful expiration is called residual volume. ನಾವು ಎಷ್ಟೇ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಏರನ್ನ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ some amount of air that remains in the lungs actually that we cannot expel it out, that you should keep in our mind. The amount of air that remains in the lungs even after forceful expiration is called residual volume. In a healthy adult man, it is about 500 to 1000 ml. 500 to 1000 ml. 500 to 1000 ml. That is should keep in our mind. 500 to 1000 ml. I think it is very clear for you. Clearer? Okay. So, amount of air that remains in the lungs even after forceful expiration is called residual volume. In a healthy adult man, it is about 500 to 1000 ml. 500 to 1000 ml. I think it is very clear for you. Okay. Now let us come to the vital capacity. Fifth one is the vital capacity. Vital capacity. Vital capacity. VC. Okay. Look at the book. The vital capacity. The amount of air that can be flushed out forcefully. Amount of air that can be flushed out forcefully after a deepest inhalation. After a deepest inhalation is called vital capacity. Got it now? The amount of air can be flushed out forcefully after a deepest inhalation is called vital capacity. Got it now? Amount of air that can be flushed out after deepest inspiration is called vital capacity. So it can be calculated sum total of vital capacity is equal to sum total of tidal volume, inspirator reserve volume and expirator reserve volume. Okay, tidal volume is the 500, inspirator reserve volume is 300, I mean 3000, expirator reserve volume 1200, 4700 ml. So this is the vital capacity as in case of healthy adult man. You remember this. 4700 ml is the vital capacity as in case of adult man. So that you should keep in our mind. I think it is very clear for you. So amount of air that can be flushed out forcefully over and above the after a deepest inhalation is called vital capacity. It can be calculated sum total of tidal volume, inspirator reserve volume, expirator reserve volume. So it comes approximately 4700 ml as in case of healthy adult man. That you should keep in our mind. I think it is very clear for you. Got it now? Yes, this is the one. Next one. One is the inspiratory capacity. Next one is the inspiratory capacity. Inspiratory capacity. Inspiratory capacity. IC. Then its opposite word is the expiratory capacity. Expiratory capacity. Expiratory capacity. EC. Okay. Now let us come to these two terms. Inspiratory capacity and expiratory capacity. That I should keep in our mind. Inspiratory capacity means the total volume of the air a person can inspire. Total volume of the air a person can inspire after normal expiration. I think it is very clear for you. So, total volume of the air a person can inspire after normal expiration. Total volume of the air a person can inspire after normal expiration is called inspiratory capacity. So therefore, inspiratory capacity is equal to tidal volume plus inspirator reserve volume. ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟಾಗುತ್ತೆ
Inspiratory capacity, tidal volume is 500. Inspiratory reserve volume is 3000. So 3500 ml. 3500 ml. This is the inspiratory capacity. What we have given the definition for the inspiratory capacity now. The expiratory capacity is opposite to that actually. Volume of the air a person can inspire after normal expiration, inspiratory capacity, approximately 3500 ml as in case of healthy adult man. Clear? Now let us come to the expiratory capacity. Volume of the air a person can expire after normal inspiration. I think you are getting now. Volume of the air a person can expire a person can expire after normal inspiration is called expiratory capacity. So therefore, expiratory capacity is equal to sum total of tidal volume and expiratory reserve volume. So expiratory capacity in healthy adult man is 500 plus 1000 ml, 1200 ml. So 500 plus 1200 ml, it comes approximately 1700 ml. 1700 ml. That is should keep in our mind. So this is the expiratory capacity as in case of healthy adult man. I think it is very clear for you. So the volume of the air a person can expire after normal inspiration. Expiratory capacity. Healthy adult man it is about 1700 ml. I think it is very clear for you. Okay. Now let us come to the next respiratory volume is the functional residual capacity. Functional residual capacity. Functional residual capacity. Functional residual capacity. FRCL. Functional residual capacity. Okay, listen to me. It is little bit similar to the respiratory volume. Residual volume. That is should keep in our mind. Okay, now let us come to the functional residual capacity. Volume of the air that will remain in the lungs after normal expiration. Got it now? It is the volume of the air that remain in lungs after normal expiration. ಇದು forceful expression. ಇದು normal expression. Here residual volume is nothing but amount of air that remains in the lungs after forceful expiration. But here volume of the air that remains in the lungs after normal expiration. That is called functional residual capacity. So therefore, functional residual capacity is equal to residual volume plus expiratory reserve volume. Expiratory reserve volume. That is should keep in our mind. I think it is very clear for you. Residual volume, sum total of residual volume and expiratory reserve volume. Got it? What I am telling here. So that is should keep in our mind. So what is the residual volume? So we'll take the maximum only 1000 ml. Expiratory reserve volume is 1200 ml. So it comes approximately to 2200 ml. So this is the functional residual capacity. 2200 ml as in case of healthy adult man. Okay, as in case of healthy adult man. So 1000 plus 1200, 2200 ml as in case of healthy adult man. This is the functional residual capacity. Functional residual capacity. I think you are following now. Yes, now let us come to the last one is the total lung capacity. Last one is the total lung capacity. Total lung capacity. TLC. Total lung capacity. Yes. Okay, listen to me. Look at the board now. Let us come to the total lung capacity. Total volume of the air accumulated in the lungs at the end of the forceful inspiration. At the end of the forceful inspiration is called total lung capacity. Volume of the air, total volume of the accumulated air in the lungs, total volume of the air accumulated in the lungs after, okay, or you can say at the end of the forced inspiration. Okay, I think it is very clear for you. Look at the word. Total lung capacity. Total volume of air accumulated in the lungs after forceful inspiration or deepest inspiration is called total lung capacity. Got it? So total volume of the air accumulated in the lungs
after deepest inspiration or forced inspiration is called total lung capacity. I think it is very clear for you. So therefore, total lung capacity can be calculated as a sum total of tidal volume, residual volume, inspiratory reserve volume, expiratory reserve volume. See here, look at the book. So total lung capacity is equal to tidal volume plus is the residual volume plus inspiratory reserve volume plus expiratory reserve volume. Okay, so tidal volume is 500, residual volume is the 1000, inspiratory reserve volume is 3000, expiratory reserve volume is the 1200. So ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬರುತ್ತೆ 4000 5700. So 5700 ml. So this is the total lung capacity as in case of healthy adult man. Or it can also be calculated as total lung capacity is equal to vital capacity plus residual volume. That also should keep in our mind. I think it is very clear for you. Vital capacity plus residual volume plus residual volume. How much is the vital capacity? Look at the board. 4700 are there. So vital capacity is the 4700. How much is the residual volume? 1000 only. So total 5700. ನೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂತು ನೋಡಿ 5700 and 5700. So this is the total lung capacity as in case of healthy adult man. I think you're getting it. So the volume of the air accumulated in the lungs after a deepest inspiration is called total lung capacity. It can be calculated sum total of tidal volume, residual volume, inspiratory reserve volume, expiratory reserve volume, or vital capacity and residual volume. That you should keep in our mind. See, these are the respiratory volumes. Dear students, you must be very careful. ನಿಧಾನವಾಗಿ ಓದಿ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಬೇಡಿ. ಮೀನಿಂಗು ಅದರ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಅಂತ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಸೊ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ದ ಫಾಲೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ಸ್ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲಿ 100% assurance I'll give. Any one question will appear in the competitive exam. It may be in the CET or it may be in the NEET. That you should keep in our mind. So like this, you have to be very clearly, one by one, you have to study. Then only you can clear. I'll repeat what I have written on the board. All the respiratory volumes will discuss once again. Okay, look at the board. Look at the board. So, first let us come to the respiratory volume. The amount of or volume of air is taken in, given out, can be measured and expressed in terms of respiratory volumes by using a device called spirometer or respirometer or spirometric. That you should remember. One inspiration, one expiration is called respiratory cycle. In healthy adult man, approximately 16 to 18 respiratory cycles per minute. This is the under normal condition. While sleeping, it will be exceeds more than this. While having food, it will be less than that. That also you should remember. Then first one is the tidal volume. Amount of air is taken and given out under normal conditions is called tidal volume. Approximately 500 ml in a healthy adult man. Then volume of the air is taken in forcefully over and above the tidal volume. Inspiratory reserve volume. Healthy adult man, it is about 3000 ml. The volume of the air is expelled out forcefully over and above the tidal volume. Expiratory reserve volume. In a healthy adult man, it is about 1200 ml. Got it now? Then the volume of the air that remains in the lungs even after forceful expiration. Residual volume. In a healthy adult man, it is about 500 to 1000 ml. Clearer. Then vital capacity. Amount of air is taken in and flushed out forcefully after a deepest inspiration is called vital capacity. Sum total of tidal volume, inspiratory reserve volume, expiratory reserve volume. It comes approximately 4700 ml. Clearer. Then inspiratory capacity. The amount of air is taken in after forcefully after normal expiration is called inspiratory capacity. It can be calculated sum total of tidal volume and inspiratory reserve volume comes approximately 3500 ml. Then volume of the air is expelled out forcefully after normal inspiration is called expiratory capacity. Sum total of tidal volume and expiratory reserve volume comes approximately 1700 ml. Clear. Then functional residual capacity. Volume of the air that remains in the lungs after normal expiration is called functional residual capacity. Sum total of residual volume expiratory reserve volume comes approximately to 2200 ml. Then total lung capacity, just now we have discussed actually. The total volume of the air accumulated in the lungs after deepest inspiration is called total lung capacity. It can be calculated sum total of tidal volume, residual volume, inspiratory reserve volume, expiratory reserve volume comes approximately 5700 ml, or sum total of vital capacity and residual volume. So same value only it will come. Clear? So this much you should remember under the respiratory volumes. I think it is very clear for you. So that you should keep in your mind. Yes. Students, now let us come to the last part in this chapter is the disorders of the respiratory system actually. Disorders of respiratory system. According to your syllabus, asthma, occupational lung disorders, emphysema. So these three disorders are there actually. Asthma, occupational lung disorders, emphysema. Okay, in addition to these three, two more we are going to discuss now. You can expect in the competitive exams. And symptoms of one of these two diseases you can expect even in the second year. Under allergy, you can expect the same symptoms only. Got it now? Okay. First, let us come to the allergic rhinitis. Allergic rhinitis. Allergic rhinitis. Allergic rhinitis. Okay, look at the board. It is an allergic disorder of the upper respiratory tract. It is an allergic disorder of the upper respiratory tract. Upper respiratory tract means from nostrils to the trachea only. It is an allergic disorder of the upper respiratory tract. As I said, from nostrils to the trachea is the upper respiratory tract. The major cause for this disease is pollen grains of various species of grasses, weeds, and trees. Hence, this disease is also known as pollenosis. Hence, this disease is also known as pollenosis. That you should remember. Because the major cause for this condition is the pollen grains of many species of grasses, weeds, and trees. That is why it is also called as pollenosis. Clear? Allergic rhinitis is of two types. They are they are seasonal allergic rhinitis and non-seasonal allergic rhinitis. Seasonal allergic rhinitis and non-seasonal allergic rhinitis. These are the two types. Okay, first let us come to the seasonal allergic rhinitis. It occurs only during spring and summer seasons. Hence the name seasonal allergic rhinitis. It is mainly caused due to the pollen grains of many species of grasses, weeds and trees. Got it? ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಪೋಲನ್ ಗ್ರೈನ್ಸ್ ಎರಡು ಸೀಸನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹಂಗಾಗಿ ಆ ಎರಡು ಸೀಸನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇದಿರುತ್ತೆ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೈ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಸೀಸನಲ್ ಅಲರ್ಜಿಕ್ ರೈನಿಟಿಸ್. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಶುಡ್ ಕೀಪ್ ಇನ್ ಅವರ್ ಮೈಂಡ್. I think you're getting it. Seasonal allergic rhinitis is mainly caused due to the pollen grains released during only spring and winter, summer seasons. Got it? What I'm telling you. So that we should keep in our mind. Next, non-seasonal allergic rhinitis occurs throughout the life. Non-seasonal allergic rhinitis occurs throughout the life or throughout the year. Hence, it is also called as perennial allergic rhinitis. Hence, it is also called as perennial allergic rhinitis. Perennial allergic rhinitis. Got it? The main causes for the non-seasonal allergic rhinitis now: house dust, animal dandruff, fungal spores, cosmetics, perfumes, certain items of the food, clothes, etc. Dear students, one more point you should remember. Allergy causing agents are known as allergens. Allergy causing agents are known as allergens. What I have listed the allergens for the non-seasonal allergic rhinitis now occur throughout the life of an organism. That is why it occurs throughout the year or throughout the life of an organism. Hence the name perennial allergic rhinitis. House dust, animal dandruff, fungal spores, cosmetics, perfumes, okay, certain items of the food, clothes. ಇವ ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೂ ಸೀಸನ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನಾವೆಷ್ಟು ದಿನ ಇರ್ತೀವೋ ಅಷ್ಟು ದಿನ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Got it? That is why it occurs throughout the life of an organism or throughout the year. Hence the name perennial allergic rhinitis. Clear? That you should remember. Now, let us come to the symptoms of allergic rhinitis. Let us come to the symptoms of allergic rhinitis. Symptoms of allergic rhinitis. Number 1, mucous membrane of nostrils. Mucous membrane of nostrils. Mucous membrane of nostrils become red and swell. Become red and swell, causing irritation. Causing irritation. That is should keep in our mind. This is the mucous membrane actually. ಇದನ್ನ mucous membrane ಅಂತ ಕರೀತೀವಿ. Nostrils become red and swell, causing irritation. ಕೈ ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಇರಿಟೇಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Mucous membrane of nostrils become red and swell, causing irritation. This is followed by watery discharge. This is followed by watery discharge from nose. Watery discharge from nose. Watery discharge from nose. Then eyes become red. Eyes become red. Eyes become red. I think you are getting now. So, mucous membrane of nostrils become red and swell, causing irritation. Got it now? And it is also characterized by the continuous sneezing. It is also characterized by continuous sneezing. This is also a symptom of the allergic rhinitis. Okay, look at the board, I'll repeat. As I said, mucous membrane of nostrils become red and swell, causing irritation. This is followed by continuous sneezing. ಎಲ್ಲಂದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ನೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. Then water discharge from nose and eyes. Water discharge from nose and eyes. Nose and eyes. That you should keep in our mind. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಬರ್ತಾನೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ, ಇದು ಅಲರ್ಜಿಕ್ ರೈನಿಟಿಸ್. ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಹೋಗ್ಲೇಬೇಕು. ಅವನೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಇನ್ಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಒನ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಕರ್ಚಿಪ್ 2 ತಂದಿರ್ತಾನೆ. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ನೀಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, ನೀಟಾಗಿ ತುಂಬಿಸಿ ಸೈಡಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ. ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಆದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಇಮಿಡಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ವಾಶ್ರೂಮ್ ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ಕ್ಲೀನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಸೊ ಆ ಥರ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅವ್ರ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಮುಗೀತು, ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋಗಿರ್ತಾನೆ, ಹೊಟ್ಟೆ ತುಂಬ ಹಸಿವು ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ಅವನೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಫ್ರೆಶ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಡೈನಿಂಗ್ ಟೇಬಲ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಅಮ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಿಸಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಫುಡ್ ಐಟಮ್ಸನ್ನು ಇಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾನೆ. ಇವನೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಫ್ರೆಶ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬಂದು ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಕರ್ಚಿಪ್ ಡೈನಿಂಗ್ ಟೇಬಲ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಸೈಡಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಟು ತಿಂತಾ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ತುಂಬ ಹಸಿವು ಆಗ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಗಾಬರಿಯಿಂದ ತಿಂತಾ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ, ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ನೋಡೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ನೀಟಾಗಿ ಬಿದ್ದಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ತಿಂತಾ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹೊಟ್ಟೆ ಕೂಲ್ ಆದಾಗ ತಟ್ಟೆನಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಒಂದ್ ಕಡೆ ವೈಟ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಓ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಅಮ್ಮ ತುಪ್ಪ ಹಾಕಿರ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ತಿಂತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಆ ಥರ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಈ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್. ವಾಟರ್ ಡಿಸ್ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ನೋಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಐಸ್, ದೆನ್ ಐಸ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ ರೆಡ್, ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಐಸ್ ರೆಡ್ ಆಗೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಕಾಮನ್ ಸಿಂಪ್ಟಮ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಅಲರ್ಜಿಕ್ ರೈನಿಟಿಸ್. ಡಿಯರ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ಸೇಮ್ ಸಿಂಪ್ಟಮ್ಸ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಇನ್ ದ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಇಯರ್ ಅಲರ್ಜಿ. ಥರ್ಡ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಇದೆ ಇಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ ಅಂತ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಅಲರ್ಜಿ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಹೆಡ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ದೇರ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಯು ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಸಿಂಪ್ಟಮ್ಸ್, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಶುಡ್ ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್. Clear now? So mucous membrane of nostrils become red and swell causing irritation, followed by continuous sneezing, water discharge from nose and eyes, then eyes become red. Clear? Now let us come to the prevention of this disease. Let us come to the prevention of this disease. Number 1, should avoid the exposure to the pollen grain containing environment. ಇವಾಗ ನಾವು ಸೀಸನಲ್ ಅಲರ್ಜಿಕ್ ರೈನಿಟಿಸ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಿ, ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಅಕ್ಕರ್ ಒನ್ಲಿ ಡ್ಯೂರಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಪ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಡ್ರೈ ಸಮ್ಮರ್ ಸೀಸನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಿ. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಸೀಸನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ಪೋಲನ್ ಗ್ರೈನ್ಸ್ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಡ್ಯೂರಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ಸೀಸನ್ಸ್ ವಿ ಶುಡ್ ಅವಾಯ್ಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋಜರ್ ಟು ದ ಪೋಲನ್ ಗ್ರೈನ್ ಕಂಟೈನಿಂಗ್ ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಒನ್ ಪ್ರಿವೆಂಟಿವ್ ಮೆಷರ್. ನಂಬರ್ 2, should avoid the entry of pollen grains into the house by keeping the windows closed during pollen season. Got it? Should avoid the entry of pollen grains into the house by keeping the windows closed during pollen season. That is should keep in our mind. ನೋಡಿ, ನಾವು ಸಿಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಂಡೋಸ್ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀವಿ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಕರ್ಟನ್ಸ್ ಹಾಕಿರ್ತೀವಿ. ಕೆಲವರು ಏನು ಅಂದ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಓ ಇಂಟೀರಿಯರ್ ಡೆಕೋರೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಅಟ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಬಿಹೈಂಡ್ ದಟ್ ದರ್ ಇಸ್ ಒನ್ ಸೈಂಟಿಫಿಕ್ ರೀಸನ್ ದಟ್ ಕರ್ಟನ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಪ್ರಿವೆಂಟ್ ದ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಆಫ್ ಪೋಲನ್ ಗ್ರೈನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಫೈನ್ ಡಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ದ ಹೌಸ್. ನೋಡಿ, ಅಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀವಿ, ಆದರೂ ಕೂಡ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲೇ ಡಸ್ಟ್ ಬಂದಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಇಮ್ಯಾಜಿನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಆ ಫೆಸ್ಟಿವಲ್ ಅಕೇಶನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಲೀನ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಡಸ್ಟ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಪ್ರಿವೆಂಟಿವ್ ಮೆಷರ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಅಲರ್ಜಿಕ್ ರೈನಿಟಿಸ್. ಶುಡ್ ಅವಾಯ್ಡ್ ದ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋಜರ್ ಟು ದ ಪೋಲನ್ ಗ್ರೈನ್ ಕಂಟೈನಿಂಗ್ ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟ್. Okay, should avoid the entry of pollen grains into the house by keeping the windows closed during pollen season. Clear? Next, let us come to the treatment now. Let us come to the treatment. It can be treated by taking antihistamine drugs. It can be treated by taking antihistamine drugs. Antihistamine drugs. So these antihistamine, you know that histamine is a chemical actually. In our body is secreted by the 2 cells. In areolar connective tissue, mast cells. In blood, basophil cells secrete the chemical, same chemical. It also responsible for the allergic reaction actually. Got it now? When we are going to take antihistamine drugs now, they prevent the mast cells or basophil cells release the chemical called histamine. ಅವಾಗ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿ ಅಲರ್ಜಿ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಶುಡ್ ಕೀಪ್ ಇನ್ ಅವರ್ ಮೈಂಡ್. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಇವಾಗ ನೋಡಿ, ಮಸ್ಕಿಟೋ ಬೈಟ್ ಮಾಡಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ, ಆ ಪ್ಲೇಸಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವೆಲ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? ಮತ್ತೆ ಇಮಿಡಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಇಚ್ಚಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅಲರ್ಜಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನಾವು ಕೆರೀತಾನೆ ಇರ್ತೀವಿ, ಓಕೆ, ಅವಾಗ ನೋಡಿ ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಒಂದು ಕಲರ್ಲೆಸ್ ಲಿಕ್ವಿಡ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಹಿಸ್ಟಮೈನ್. ಆ ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ಆ ಪ್ಲೇಸಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋವರೆಗೂ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಇಚ್ಚಿಂಗ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಆವಾಗ ನಾವು ಅದು ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಬರ್ಬೇಕಂತ ನಾವು ಕೆರೀತಾನೆ ಇರ್ತೀವಿ, ಅಷ್ಟೊತ್ತಿಗೆ ಗಾಯ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಇನ್ಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ನೋ, ಇಫ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಟೇಕ್ ಆಂಟಿಹಿಸ್ಟಮೈನ್ ಡ್ರಗ್ಸ್ ನೋ, they stop the mast cells and basophil cells to release the histamine. ಅವಾಗ ಏನು ಅಲರ್ಜಿ ಆಗುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. That is only the treatment for this condition. I think this disease is clear for you. I'll repeat once again. Allergic rhinitis. It is an allergic disorder of the upper respiratory tract. The major cause for this is the pollen grains of various species of grasses, weeds and trees. Hence it is also called as pollenosis. It is of 2 types: seasonal allergic rhinitis, non-seasonal allergic rhinitis. Seasonal allergic rhinitis occurs only during spring and summer seasons because it is mainly caused due to the pollen grains of various species of grasses, weeds and trees released only that seasons. That is why it occurs only during spring and summer seasons, hence the name seasonal allergic rhinitis. Non-seasonal allergic rhinitis is mainly caused due to the allergens like house dust, animal dandruff, fungal spores, cosmetics, perfumes, certain items of the food, clothes, etc. So these allergens occur throughout the life of an organism. Hence, non-seasonal allergic rhinitis occurs throughout the year. Hence, it is also called as perennial allergic rhinitis. Then symptoms: mucous membrane of nostrils become red and swell, causing irritation. This is followed by continuous sneezing, watery discharge from nose and eyes, then eyes become red. It can be prevented avoiding exposure to the pollen grain containing environment during pollen seasons. It can also be prevented by avoiding the entry of pollen grains into the house by keeping the windows closed during pollen season. Then treatment, it can be treated by taking antihistamine drugs. As I said, these drugs are going to suppress the mast cells and basophil cells to secrete the allergy causing chemical called histamine. So that is the treatment for this condition. I think this disease is clear for you. Clear? Yes. Now you take a small break. After the break, rest of the diseases will continue. Okay? Thank you.